Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. And today is going to be a quick one. I'm sorry. Actually, I have to go on a business trip very, very, very soon. In fact, I'm afraid that I'm going to get so into this podcast that I'm going to be late for my train. Okay. Again, if you are coming back to our podcast, I want to say thank you for your support. Remember to like, follow, subscribe. And of course, every comment helps everybody. And we are slowly going to be available everywhere. I'm working on it. All right. And of course, we are slowly optimizing our equipment as well, from the camera to the mic, et cetera, et cetera. This microphone, I just got it a few hours ago. Okay. And I've adjusted a few settings. You can tell me how it sounds and let me know in the comments. All right. Now, with that said, we got to keep it short today. I want to get into something I think is super useful for all of you, and that is how to improve your speaking ability. So a lot of people said, wow, Jon, I like the way you speak English. I like the way you speak. I like the way you communicate and present. So I want to say that, again, actually, my speaking style is not for everybody. Some people would say I speak too fast. Some people would say my energy is way too high. Some people prefer more slow, more deliberate, more, slower pace speaking, not so much crazy energy. So with that said, remember that everyone's speaking style is different. Everyone has different taste in what they like. As an example, sometimes when I listen to podcasts, I prefer funny podcasts, comedy podcasts, high energy, lots of laughs. If I hear a podcast where someone is speaking like this about the news or about current events or very low energy or monotone, for me personally, that makes me tired. That will put me to sleep. But again, someone else could be completely different, okay? But with that said, if you do like the way I speak, if you do like the way I present myself, today I want to share some tips with you on how you can improve your speaking skills and how you can speak and present like I do, all right? So tip number one I want to talk about is my body language, okay? I'm going to put body language as our first tip because I think even the best speakers, if they don't have any body language, if they're so stiff like this, they don't move their face, they don't smile, they don't move their hands, this can really, in my opinion, kind of cripple their abilities as a speaker. It can really make you disengage with what they're saying. So there's a few things that I do when it comes to my body language when I speak. First of all, my hands. my hands are always moving when I speak. Whether they're doing like this or this or this or this or this or some kung fu, they're always moving in some way. And of course, if you're listening to the audio version of today's episode of today's video, you can watch the video version. Okay. So your hands should always be doing something. That doesn't mean you should be like punching the air or something like that, but you should try to move your hands when you speak in some way. Try not to keep your hands by your sides when you speak. You're not you're not a soldier, you're not saluting, you know what I mean? Don't be so stiff. A lot of people have different rhythms they like to get into. So for example, for me, when I speak, you'll notice that I do a lot of this. So my hands kind of do like a waving motion like this. Some people, when they speak, do this. Some people like to do this, like this, like this. It's different for everybody. Some people like to chop vegetables. The most important thing is that you want to get in a rhythm with your hands so that when you're speaking, it just comes as a natural motion. You want to become a habit. You want to train yourself to do that, okay? If you're thinking to yourself that, okay, when I say this word, I'm going to move my hands. Now, it doesn't work like that, okay? That's too deliberate. That's kind of weird, okay? So, again, get in a natural flow with your hands. Think of a way you can move your hands in a way that will improve your hand body language, all right? Now, the next thing is your face, okay? So, two things. One, very important, is eye contact. When you're speaking to people, when you're speaking to a crowd, in any situation, eye contact is very, very, very powerful. Very, very, very powerful, Okay. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. And some people actually will get very uncomfortable when you make eye contact with them because again, um, it's a very strong action. Okay. Now I'm not telling you to like be on the subway or in public stare into someone's soul like this and freak them out, okay? Not like a stalker. No, I'm saying that if you're speaking to someone, if you're speaking to a crowd, strong eye contact can really help you build a strong connection. So, as an example, when I am speaking to someone one on one, I really try my best to make good eye contact with them. And I don't look at my phone. I don't, check my phone all the time. I want them to really feel like I'm really engaged in what they have to say. Regardless if we know each other well or if we're just strangers, I think that's very important. Actually, I feel like this tip right here is kind of saying put your phone down. Okay, yeah, we're humans here. Okay, put your phone down. Okay, now if you're speaking to a group of people, a crowd of people, now you can try your best to make eye contact with the entire crowd, every single person there, but that's going to be nearly impossible because you'll be like this, hello, 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 looking at every single person like a crazy bird or something like that, hello, 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 Okay. Now, what I want you to do instead is try this. I want you to look and scan the crowd. What does that mean? So I'll give you an example. Pretend right now that I'm speaking to you, but I am speaking like a crowd of like 100 people, okay? So what I would do is that I would begin speaking to the crowd like this and slowly scanning from here left to right and even looking at the people in the back as well and making sure that I can kind of look in their general direction so they feel that I'm paying attention to them, okay? Don't forget the back of the crowd. Don't forget the back of the crowd because, again, if you're only speaking to a bunch of people, but you're only looking at the person in the front, that's kind of not cool, right? If I'm sitting in the back, why should I pay attention to you, right? Okay, making eye contact also has this a very powerful effect that if I see someone is like not paying attention, they're on their phone, they're kind of ignoring what I have to say. Well, then from here, if I make eye contact with it, it's kind of like a saying like, "Hey, pay attention to me. I'm talking to you," and they'll say, "Oh." They'll put their phone down, okay? And not like, "Hey, I'm calling you out. Stop using your phone." It's more like I should be paying attention, okay? Okay, eye contact is very powerful. Another thing is smile. Smile, please smile, everybody. Please smile when you look at the crowd, look at people. Smile in general. Don't look sad all the time. Don't look grumpy. Don't look, just smile. Smiling is such a powerful thing. The other day when I was walking out in public, I saw this person. It's funny. It's really interesting. I saw a person walking down the street and they were smiling. I think they were like listening to music and they're just like walking around, looking happy. And at first I was like, what's going on here? Why is this person, what's this weirdo doing? What's this person smiling about? What are they going to try to do? They're going to try to do something to me? Is it a pervert, a weirdo? But then after I kind of got over that, I realized I was smiling too. Smiling is infectious, laughter, happiness is infectious, and you should do that too. You should be smiling if you can, if you're happy. Okay, sometimes when you smile, you can make yourself happier as well. All right. So smile. Okay. Body language. Try to move your hands in a way. Try to make eye contact. Try to smile. Okay. We can talk more about body language another time. Okay. So next thing I want to talk about is the tone of your voice. So I think this is a big challenge for people, especially if the language you're speaking is your second language. So you'll notice that when I speak, the tone of my voice is always very different. If I'm talking about something serious, my energy is a bit lower. I speak a little bit slower. I speak a bit deeper. But when I'm excited about something, when I'm so happy and excited about something, my voice goes higher, the energy is there. I'm really exerting myself here. So this is really important if you're speaking about something. So right now I'm kind of talking about a neutral part of the subject I'm talking about. So my the tone of my voice, the energy is quite in the middle. But when I'm excited, when it's a very important point, I'm going higher. But when it's a very important point, I want you to pay attention to. I want you to take notes. I want you to really focus on that. I'm gonna go a bit lower and slower here. Okay. So this point is kind of like the energy and the tone as well as the pace, okay? Three things. I'm going to put them all together, okay? The energy, the tone, and the pace, all right? So, again, my speaking style, I tend to speak really fast, but I will slow it down when necessary. And that's not easy for everybody. For me right now to slow down my speaking pace is very difficult for me. I've had to work on it for a long time because I like to speak like this. My natural energy is I'm really fast and I'm very excited about things. I'm like a dog, okay, but that's something you need to learn how to control. Whether you need to speak slower or faster or improve your pace for this situation depends on what the subject matter is, as well as the energy and the tone of your voice, okay? Now, third thing, I think this is very important, is be confident. Be confident. All right. Now, this is a lot easier said than done. A lot easier said than done, right? I think for me in general, I'm a very confident person, but I wasn't always a confident person. Before I, was bullied a lot as a kid. I don't have the best skin. There's a little bit of magic going on. My skin doesn't look great in the video, but it's in real life is not that great. It looks a lot worse. But in general, I'm a very confident person. I had to put a lot of work into that to really find my self-worth and to really be confident in what I do and what I say and how I present myself. Now, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm always like that, but in general, I'm a confident person. And when you're a confident person in your own life, that will also exude into the things you do. That will also be represented in the things you do. For example, when you speak to people, when you do things, when you present, when you, whatever, right? The more confident you are yourself, the more at peace you are at yourself, the more it's going to show in the things you do and how people see you. And again, when it comes to speaking, that is extremely, extremely evident. All right. Now, it's hard for me to teach confidence. It's not easy. It can be trained, but there's a lot of self-help and self-work you have to put into yourself. But if I could give you a few tips to be confident when it comes to speaking, I'd say the following. First, in general, unless it's like some very high stakes meeting where there's like a lot of money or something on the line. If we're just talking about like general situations where you're speaking to a crowd, people don't care about, if you speak poorly or if you're going to make a mistake or if you have grammatical issues or if English isn't your mother language and et cetera, et cetera. In general, when you're speaking to people, they want to get to know you. Okay. They're there for you. And so they have to give you their time. So make the best of it, okay? In general, people are not, hating you or wanting to fail. To be honest with you, if we're talking about like speeches or workshops, sometimes people don't even want to be there. Okay? Like more than you don't want to be there, right? But if that's the case, you can still take that time to make their day a bit better, okay? So people don't care about that stuff with you, okay? That's number one. Number two, it's human to make mistakes. And it's also endearing as well. This is kind of like a reason, for example, like you'll notice like as you're watching this video, I've noticed that like I've seen a lot of videos recently go very, very viral, very popular, where people are just like outside having their camera, no professional mic, no professional editing, no professional camera, just filming their lives and talking. Why? Because that's real. That's real. I think people are getting sick of like artificial, fake. I'm rich. I'm that. My life is great. This is this. It's all like kind of just like edited and put together, especially with the rise of AI. Who knows what's real or not? So being genuine, being a real likable person, especially when it comes to speaking, is very endearing. So making mistakes is okay. It means you're human and it's good. Okay. Um, the next thing I'd say is that, if you want to, for example, memorize a speech. Now, here's my suggestion. If that's the way you memorize things, right? If you have to give a speech or a talk, if you have, like, for example, a 2-page speech. Now, if you're going to memorize it word for word, go ahead. That's your way. Do it. Fine. I will say that I've encountered a lot of people that they memorize a script word for word, but the problem is that when it comes to the actual performance and speaking, it sounds very poorly performed. Sounds terrible. Sounds like crap. Why? Because they're trying so hard to memorize what they have to say, they forget about being natural. They're very unnatural. They're very clunky. They don't use body language, no tones, nothing basically. They kind of like, okay, I'm speaking to you right this, and I sincerely hope I don't mess up this line. What was that word again? You know what I mean? So I would suggest to you that if you can, if possible, bullet points. Bullet points. I'll give you an example. I have no script for this video right now, or this audio podcast, whatever you're listening to right now. I have no script whatsoever. Okay. What I'm doing right now is I just have a general framework, a few bullet points of what I want to talk about. I knew before I began talking to you today that I want to say, okay, first my introduction, that I'm going to tell you how to be a more confident speaker. Okay. And I'm going to focus on body language, pacing, tone, and confidence. Okay. And that's it. And from there, because I consider myself to be somewhat of a, at least experienced, I'm not going to say expert, but I'm experienced in the subject. It's all here in the back of my head. It's all inside me. I know perfectly well how to present this information, okay? So for you, what you consider is bullet points. And bullet points, again, is easier, in my opinion, to give a speech or presentation or just to talk about anything, because from there, you don't need to memorize everything word for word, just the main ideas, okay? And if, for example, if you ever mess up, instead of pulling out a script with 3 million words, we just look at a note card. It's got like 5 points on there. Quick, and you go again, okay? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for today. Just a few tips for you, a few bite-sized tips. I will go into this a bit further in the future, but for now, let me know what you think about these tips. Let me know what you think about these pointers. Let me know what any tips you have and how you can become a more confident speaker. Things you do in your daily life to be more confident, more powerful when you're speaking, whether it's just in your daily life, speaking another language, speeches, whatever. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. And everyone, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow. Stay tuned for more episodes of the podcast, and I will see you next time, okay? Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.